about to give you a bunch of random situations, and you can tell me how many random coincidences the world is full of. So this is Ari to go. He patented technology on free energy. He was headed to the airport to go meet some investors, but he never made it to his flight.
They even granted officials the power to enter your private property at any time. Your home is no longer your castle. It's a three-pronged attack. First, they take the land, then they squeeze your lifestyle.
Authoritarianism and Marxist ideology. It's an ideology which is creeping into governments across the world. To quote Schwab himself when speaking about the Canadian Parliament, we penetrate the cabinets. I know that half this cabinet, even more than half, are actually young global leaders at the World Economic Forum. It's true in Argentina, it's true in France, now with the president who is a young global leader, end quote.
I would love to see how you're breaking that down, but what I am telling you...
With real dollars.
Welcome back, everybody. The algorithm doesn't like me, so be sure to like and subscribe, and definitely comment and share because it helps me get out there. I really appreciate it. YouTube does not like me at all. Come check me out on Rumble as well. Anyway, billionaires. The whole reason why the world doesn't advance is because billionaires do not like change. This video will show you all these inventions that were made and all the people that were killed inventing it. Yeah, free energy and things like that. So anything that's for betterment and change of the world, you're not going to see it happen too quickly unless it's controlled by the billionaires. And they already have all this technology, all this information, right? Billionaires do not like change. You would think billionaires would be behind every positive change in this world, but they're not. They don't want change. They want control. Change is not control. You think of like Jeff Bezos, somebody came out of nowhere, created Amazon. Like, why didn't these billionaires and all their resources think, hey, this internet thing, why don't we put our products on there or create something where the whole world comes and buys just from us on this one thing called the internet? Nobody was doing it. Nobody thought of changing anything or doing anything. This guy comes out of nowhere, Jeff Bezos creates Amazon, becomes a billionaire. Why didn't billionaires already create these systems and put them in place? Billionaires do not like change. You think they're smart. No. They just go into other areas, grease the wheels with their money, pay people off, and then they go in there and take over. That's what billionaires do. They don't really change anything for the better. They just import their systems around the world. They don't want change. Anyway, like, subscribe, check out this very sad story.
Let's play a game. I'm about to give you a bunch of random situations, and you can tell me how many random coincidences the world is full of. So this is Ari to go. He patented technology on free energy. He was headed to the airport to go meet some investors, but he never made it to his flight because he was found dead in his car. That's random. This is Stefan Marinov. He is the leader of the European free energy movement. In 1997, he had a major breakthrough, and as they were working on their prototype, he was found dead. What? Yeah, apparently he fell out of a window. This is Dr. John Mullen. He is a nuclear physicist that worked for one of the largest military contractors in the world. Apparently, he discovered something really big in the realm of energy, but unfortunately, before he could come out with this information, he died from arsenic poisoning. But don't worry, his girlfriend was the primary suspect. She was actually found dead in her apartment as well. They didn't go after any other suspects. Case closed. This right here is Dmitry Petronov. He invented a plasma battery that powered his 2-story house for 14 months. One day he went to go get bread from a bakery and was never seen again. Zachary Warfield was also working on a plasma battery. He actually met with Dmitry a couple of times where they would exchange notes. He mysteriously died in a boating accident in Washington, D.C. Eugene Malov was an expert physicist in cold fusion. He claimed to have a working prototype of a free energy device, but the day before he was going to go public, he was beaten to death. That's so random.
Lovely.
Rory Johnson invented a cold fusion motor that generated over 500 horsepower. The Department of Energy took a restraining order against his technology so he could never publicize it, and you're never going to guess what happened to him. Everyone who knew him said he was super healthy, had no health issues, but he died mysteriously. Mark Tomian was awarded a patent for a zero-point energy system. After he developed his working prototype, he was found mysteriously dead, and the crazy thing is his research is missing. What? Or you might recognize this one. This is Stan Thompson. He developed a car that ran off of water. After developing his working prototype, he went to go to lunch with 2 investors so that he could gain money to push this technology out there. He died during lunch. His last words were, "I've been poisoned." Nikola Tesla believed he could make free energy. And all of his research was funded by, guess who? J.P. Morgan. When he claimed to have figured it out and he wanted additional capital so that he could expand his inventions, J.P. Morgan shut him down. I'm sure it has nothing to do with the fact that JP Morgan owned General Electric, he owned copper mines, he owned rubber mills. Anyways, the reason why the world has so much inequality, the reason why things are so expensive, it has nothing to do with the fact that we keep inventing technology that can help people, but we suppress it. Anyways, I don't know what you guys think. Isn't that crazy? What coincidences? The world is a weird place.
Yeah. Look at the Boeing case where the whistleblower was pointing out that Boeing was just ordering cheap parts to save a few bucks, right? And all the planes start falling out of the sky, killing hundreds of people. And the guy was testifying against Boeing, and he said he's not suicidal. Found, deceased in his car on the second day where he was talking. So yeah, they're killing people outright. Like this is like an unreal world we're living in, especially after you get the Epstein files. These are monsters we're dealing with. So I don't know why we're all polite anymore. All right, people. So yeah, we are not free, right? These elites are planning to set up the world for us right now. So it's like smart cities, controlled environments, right? Where we can't really do much. All in the guise of climate control and all those kind of things, right? So yeah, we're going to be pretty much screwed if we don't step up because they're already taking land. It's unreal. They need that land. They need to like make sure we are all condensed and put into one place. Canada's made agreements where they're going to go to net zero. And what that means is they have to stop you from being a bad person. So they will take your land away.
If you think what's happening in the Cowichan Valley is just a local zoning glitch, you are missing the forest for the trees. This isn't a mistake. It is a coordinated rollout from the Pacific to the Atlantic. The walls are closing in on Canadians' independent living. In BC, the CRVD is pushing bylaw 4710, 329 pages of bureaucratic chains that turn your property rights into permission-based systems with fines of up to $50,000 per day. But look east, New Brunswick just forced 161 rural residents into newly amalgamated super districts. People who moved to the woods to be left alone are now suddenly under the thumb of city planners, facing skyrocketing property taxes as high as 60%. They are coming for your food security. In Cowichan, they're trapping gardeners with human consumption-only rules. In New Brunswick, farmers are fighting rezoning that prioritizes developers over the right to farm. Whether it's Casey Hickey losing her horse boarding in BC or New Brunswick farmers losing their land, the message is pretty clear. Self-sufficiency is being legislated out of existence. Ontario is the accelerator. They just passed Bill 212, stripping homeowners of their right to appeal when the government takes your land for priority projects. They even granted officials the power to enter your private property at any time. Your home is no longer your castle. It's a three-pronged attack. First, they take the land, then they squeeze your lifestyle. Even though they officially scrapped the EV sales mandate, they replaced it with punishing new emission standards. It's a backdoor mandate designed to make gas-powered trucks too expensive to produce. Meanwhile, in Toronto, the NDP are piloting government-run grocery stores. They want you dependent on the state for your transport, your shelter, and your food. This is the you will own nothing and be happy agenda. By ending single-family zoning and crushing rural viability, they are funneling everyone into high-density 15-minute hubs. To globalists like Mark Carney, your heritage farm is just an inefficiency in a net zero world. They want you centralized, monitored, and compliant. The social contract hasn't been broken, it's been incinerated. I've connected the dots between BC bylaws to New Brunswick to Ontario's land grabs. The full investigation is live on my Substack. Read the names, the bills, and the plan to fight back. Click the link in my bio. The walls are closing in. Don't let them lock the gate. And remember this, whoever controls the land controls the resources. Whoever controls the resources controls the food. And whoever controls the food controls the people.
That's why they're outlawing all this or making it extremely hard for farmers and things like that, because they just want to grow your meat in a lab. They can just do it in a lab, and they're doing it not because they care about the earth. They're doing it because it's a money opportunity. No overhead, no pastures, no land, no cows, no farm, no people to take care of the animals. None of that. You just grow the meat in a tube or in a dish. You just grow it. They love that. They can make so much more, and they'll still charge you the same price of beef too. That's how freaking wicked these people are. Yeah, you need to start fighting back because they don't care about you. Screw the banks. Check out my links below. Crypto, earn more interest. Put it in your personal wallet. Banks can't touch it. Government can't touch it. It's yours, and you can earn 6%, 8%. You get into DeFi, decentralized finance. Whew. You can make some big gains in crypto. Do your research. Don't just listen to some guy on YouTube. do your research. After you've done that, check out my links. Get involved. Screw the banks. They make money off of your money, and you don't get shit. Yeah, look at that. Whew, one of the bad guys right there, the WEF, right? So apparently some official breaks down why the WEF is a threat to you and your freedoms. Yeah, we have too much outside influence in our governments, right? That's why our lives are shit and are always shit. Because in Canada, you can off yourself. And now in Canada, they have open drug sites sponsored by the government, right by schools and parks. You can get free paraphernalia for your habit from the government. So your taxpayers go to all that, but you can't fix a pothole in the street. But there's so much money they have that they can do all those things. They do not care about you. They want the destruction. When you're dumb, addicted, slow, and stupid, and desperate, yeah, that's what they want.
Founded in 1971 by Klaus Schwab, the World Economic Forum is steeped in authoritarianism and Marxist ideology. It's an ideology which is creeping into governments across the world. To quote Schwab himself when speaking about the Canadian Parliament, "We penetrate the cabinets. I know that half this cabinet, even more than half, are actually young global leaders of the World Economic Forum. It's true in Argentina, it's true in France, now with the president who is a young global leader," end quote. The World Economic Forum promotes globalist issues such as climate change, so-called systemic racism and sexism, and creating an online digital identity. However, closer inspection reveals the World Economic Forum is an anti-capitalist, anti-free market organisation that seeks to subvert Western values and political processes. And they are very organised and very well funded. Their message is designed to appear harmless when in fact the ideology that underpins it is revolutionary and destructive. They train aspirational leaders in their ideology and help them make connections in spheres including politics, business and the arts. At the centre of the World Economic Forum's ideology is stakeholder capitalism. Essentially, this is a theory that traditional free market capitalism ignores the dangers posed by climate change, and so the government must enforce restrictive policies to save the environment, even if that means less wealth. Why then are the forum's criticisms of capitalism always directed at Western nations rather than the great polluters such as China and India? The forum believes that your freedoms should be minimised to prevent the imminent climate catastrophe, the one that's been coming for 10 years and the last 50 years, by the way. The central theme of the World Economic Forum's material is what they call the Great Reset. The term comes from Schwab directly himself with his 2020 book entitled The Great Reset. In a now deleted video titled 8 Predictions for the World in 2030, the World Economic Forum claimed, "You'll own nothing and you'll be happy," a slogan that hits the same dystopian note as "work makes you free and ignorance is strength." You don't have to be a political philosopher to figure out that if you own nothing, the state owns everything. There's a word for this. It's called communism. The World Economic Forum and its affiliates shamelessly promote the abolition of private property, a central facet of Karl Marx's demented utopian ideology which led to the deaths of tens of millions of people worldwide in the 20th century. To quote Margaret Thatcher, quote, "Communism never sleeps, never changes its objectives, and nor should we." No matter how sophisticated the World Economic Forum tries to make the abolition of private property around the world sound, the fantasies of Karl Marx always lead to the crushing of individuals' liberties and lives and the expansion of the state's tyranny and power. It is imperative that we pay close attention to the World Economic Forum and do all that we can to preserve liberty and reduce government intrusion in our lives. And if we fail to do so, the anti-democratic forces in the West will continue to march on, and we may wake up to an Australia that we no longer recognise. Australians deserve to know the extent to which the World Economic Forum's influence and infiltration of our country and how far it has gone, and we're going to find out.
Hey, listen, they couldn't have done this unless they had the woke movement, right? Because that all generated a cancel culture. And now cancel culture is like so approved by the government. They want you to have digital ID. And once you're in digital ID, they just say you said the wrong thing. They push a button and then boom, you can't interact on the internet. You can't interact with your bank, nothing, right? All at the government's discretion and what they deem could be hate speech or that you're promoting misinformation. Boom, you're gone. That means government control. Check out 1984, man. It sums it up completely. That's a book. It's an amazing book. I read it like a couple of years ago for the first time. Wow, man. Blew my mind. I hear about it all the time. You put these things off. Don't put things off. Read books. Always grow. Always learn. Oh, in Australia, it's already cooked. It's already messed up with all this cancel culture. Here's a video here of a person being released from prison, 100 and something days in solitary for a post about the government. Yep, he made a post about a politician and they put him in jail. Australia. They have us so brainwashed. So brainwashed. Anyway, you got people protesting in the streets about no king and all this other stuff, but you have nobody protesting against that you're losing your free speech. You have nobody protesting against big pharma poisoning you. There's nobody protesting against all those major issues. They're protesting against immigration, which is wrong. They're protesting against immigration, woke shit, all this other stuff, which is meaningless compared to these bigger issues of free speech and big pharma and deep state just destroying your life.
This is what corruption looks like in real time. This is what you voted for, Canada, so that the Liberals could permanently delete any evidence of any wrongdoing at all. But I guess that would mean they actually have to work, though, to write those emails. And I would think that only 72 days of work would mean that there's not going to be a ton to delete based on this guy. But can you imagine if a bunch of conservatives came out and said, we're going to delete our emails after 15 to 30 days because we don't want you to see what we've actually been doing with your money, what we've been talking about, or how we've been coercing healthcare people, or just making it so that you could partner with a communist nation?
Yeah. When I was growing up, communism was the enemy. But all of a sudden, like, China's the biggest, like, exporter of all our products. Dude, the UK is screwed too. Canada is screwed. Man, take back your freedom, right? You just gave away everything to like third world class citizens. Check this out, what they do to you in your streets, your own streets that your tax dollars go to. They took over everything.
Why? Because I can? Yeah? Yeah?
Yeah, man. Come, man. I'm always good, fam. Oh, were you cool?
Right, yeah, I'm recording. Yeah, well, you came up to us, dude.
Am I right? Yeah, truth, sir.
Truth, yeah.
No, it's all right. I've got kids here and all that.
That's fine.
Get me? I'll end you.
You're gonna end me? Okay.
Okay.
Your master puss.
There's another way to end something. Anyways, it's gonna cat, I suppose.
There we go. Can't hear you, man. Can't hear you. Don't know what you.
Man, Rome, Italy, the UK, all these places that had culture, gone.
Saying, stop mumbling.
Oh, it's crazy. We had a girl here get stabbed last night, lance through the face.
Last night?
Yeah, last night. So it's.
So you're the security for Piccadilly Gardens?
Pretty much.
Piccadilly Gardens.
Good area here.
Okay.
It's usually pretty peaceful. Like
yeah.
Try and resonate with people. So they look after me a little bit, but it does get wild. It does get absolutely wild.
They're not
Hoping
people.
for a safer future, but
yeah,
we'll see.
Has it gotten worse in the last couple of years?
It has.
It has.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, a girl got stabbed in the face. Right over here, you said?
Yeah, just on the left-hand side. It happened behind here, straight around here.
Just last night.
Here, but I was informed about it this morning. It's not shocked.
Insane. Not shocked.
No.
Just another day.
Absolutely.
In Piccadilly Gardens.
Here's to it getting better. Business is better.
Loads of videos before. Fucking hell. Just a ticking time bomb, hey?
What you've done?
What has he done? Oh, he's a rapist.
He's a paedophile. He's groping young girls, celebrating the GCSE results in the garden just over there. This guy here.
And he's been convicted?
I think so. He's just come out, I think. You know, he's walking around.
And he's just walking around in the
And
public?
he's out.
Crazy.
Dude, the current state of the UK, fists and pedos get to roam free, whilst they're arresting people for mean tweets, guys. And there is the proof right there.
Lies and more lies. This is your liberal government telling you, oh, all these extra fees we are putting on you, it doesn't cost you more. Like, the freaking stupidity of these people. The reason why they don't want you to have more farms, I just mentioned before, they're growing lab meat. Yeah, so they don't need the cows, they don't need the farms. Once they take away people's ability to feed themselves, and the government and corporations have the only control for you to get food, they control the only way for you to get food, yeah, you're screwed.
Say that the industrial carbon price does not increase the cost of
So
food.
then what does it impact? Is it just
She has crazy written all over her face.
impact the viability of farms and so
Emissions,
farms
sir.
get smaller?
No, it does. It actually
So farms
does not.
consolidate to bigger farms?
Small farms aren't impacted by the industrial
They're
carbon
not
price.
impacted by it all. So the carbon taxes that I'm paying as a producer are what, imaginary?
The industrial carbon price applies to large industry. It applies in different ways in different parts of our country.
I pay carbon tax on the electricity and the equipment and the fertilizer that I use to run my farm. And you say that's imaginary?
I would love to see how you're breaking that down, but what I am telling you...
With real dollars.
You say that the industrial carbon price...
I like to see how you're breaking that down. These are people that I wouldn't trust to handle a bag of shit, right? But yet they're running everything in your life. These are, look at this, these are psychos, man, completely out of touch. They're trying to create a communist system, right? Once you start believing in that way, you give all power to the government, and they're grooming your kids, right? Just that woke nonsense. They can take away your kids. Your kid could be 5 years old, say they feel a certain way, and the school can take your kid from you and don't even tell you. That's how bad it is. That's what Marxism is. That's what communism is, where state has control over your thoughts, your ideas, and what you can do. That's Marxism, and it's being taught everywhere to our youth to brainwash them. Let's fight against everything. Like, subscribe, help out the channel. The YouTube algorithm does not like me. Oh well, can't handle the truth, but we love the truth, so please help out. Thanks again.
If you have a child in the public education system, I need you to listen to me real quick. I am in college right now to get my bachelor's in education, bachelor's in science and education, okay? I'm taking all the classes to become a teacher, to work in a public school system. Tell me why there's a conspiracy theory that schools are indoctrinating children and that schools are teaching skewed versions of history, and the liberals are like, no, that's not true. That couldn't possibly be true. We're still learning about things like the Holocaust and World War I. No, these books literally tell you verbatim, exactly word for word, that is 100% a fact, not a conspiracy. There's a sentence in this book, and I'm not kidding you verbatim. It says, the United States chooses its curriculum based on its own ideologies of history and its own self-interests. Pardon? What? So if you're curious on whether or not the school system is purposefully leaving out certain pieces of history or purposefully teaching things like slavery's only black people and that slaves were only bought by white people, that's wrong. And they're teaching that on purpose so that the kids only have one narrative to go based off of and not actual history. If you're an analytical person like me who wants to research all of this stuff, go for it. But the book that I'm reading is called Teachers, Schools, and Society, and it's for a class that's issues in education. And I think I found the issues with the education, guys. It's laid out right there in front of you. The teachers are the people being indoctrinated and brainwashed to think that we need to teach kids to be socialistic little heroes who only know our versions of history, because the teachers are literally being taught that it is okay to only pick bits and pieces of history to fit our narrative, to fit the propaganda that they currently want to push out. And not for nothing, but I think it's a little crazy that the curriculum we use was owned and operated by Jeffrey Epstein's father-in-law. Just saying, the public school system's failing your kids, take them out, and I'm definitely switching my major because I want nothing to do with these public school systems.